We have been praying for.
And I don't remember the characters' names, but the main guy, what was his name? Like
Newland Archer.
Newland Archer.
Archer, and he was engaged to
May Welland.
Okay, and who's the Olenska girl? Is
Ellen Olenska.
Ellen Olenska.
Okay,
Yeah, he's May's. She is May's cousin.
May's cousin.
I do not remember because I didn't reread the whole thing. What Olensky, her husband, did. Did he have an affair?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Oh, so that's what. So she's coming to the wedding, or she's just moving back to the area.
She's just moving back because her husband.
She's escaping.
Yeah, she's leaving her
Escaping
husband because he's kind of a douchebag. Yeah. Pardon.
Yes.
Okay, so does this Archer guy, does he have an affair with her, or does he end up with
You
her?
have to read it, for God's sake. We're in a book club here.
Don't do it.
I know. I read, like, I got to a certain point and I was like you, I would read it at nighttime and I'd read like 10 pages and then it's like, okay, now I'm going to bed. Like,
Yeah.
I read it in like 2 days. I
love it.
Because I felt like it was so fast moving.
Really?
The names, here's the
I'm
deal.
biggest
It's
idiot
almost,
in the world.
it's like a Russian
I'm
novel.
right there with you, Everett.
In some ways, it's like a Russian novel.
Yeah.
Not in any other way than I'm going to say. You got to get the names down. There's a lot of people. There's a huge cast of characters, and that's what Russian novels are like. You got it. Once you get the names and you start seeing personalities emerge.
Yeah.
But like there's this part where, and I don't know how far you guys got in. It's my book looks like this.
Yeah, that's the one I had when I was younger. I couldn't find it. I ordered this.
This one, the print's pretty big. It's not one of those tiny pocket ones.
Yeah, look at the print in this. It's so tiny. I couldn't even read it with my.
You can see it. Yeah, it's so tiny. They go to see the Shogran, whatever the hell that is. It's a play. And this guy is in the play. He wants this woman, right? So he kisses. He takes her ribbon. I guess she's got a ribbon on the back of her dress, and he takes it and he kisses it. And it's so moving to Archer about that like it says that like he connects it to the scene prior with Ellen, where he was telling her, she was telling him about how she wants to be conventional. She doesn't want to be different. And he's kind of pushing against that because that's why he likes her.
Is she older than him?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I think they said she was like 28 or something like that. Like, but I don't remember how old he was. I don't remember if they said. But they were close in age. I don't think she was like significantly older, but
no, for sure.
Because I think May was a little younger. But
May was younger.
Yeah.
But the ending is the best. See, this is why you have to read, because it's so like you think that they are going to get together and they don't. And like, because she lives in Paris, but I think what's so.
Who lives in Paris?
Ellen.
Well,
yeah, she went back to Paris. Olensky's French. He went back to Paris. Oh, maybe he's ski is
Polish or something. Yeah.
Right, but they lived in France in any case.
Yeah.
She went back.
And this is after May has passed away. And
May passes away.
Yeah, she dies.
Spoiler alert.
Oh,
she's dead. You're not going to read it, so you have to tell you. So his son.
This is like 30 years later, though. This is like, this is at the end. So it's kind of almost like.
You mean, so he marries May.
Right.
Of course he marries her. Yeah. How much of this book did you read? Did you read like 2 chapters?
No, I got to like page 80 or 90.
Oh gosh, Lori.
With the thing.
It's just.
It's about the old and the new world, like the old society and the new society. Faulkner does this really well too. That like
it's amazing.
Yeah, like his son Dallas is going to get married to one of these beautiful girls, Fanny Beaufort. Fanny Beaufort, and they go to visit Paris. And Dallas, Newland Archer's son, wants him to go up and see Ellen, like in the apartment, and he says to her, like, "Oh, she was once your Fanny," meaning like your love, like the love of your life.
Yeah.
And he says, Newland Archer's like, my Fanny? And he says, well, the woman you'd have chucked everything for, only you didn't.
Yeah.
And Newland is kind of like, he's struck by it because he's like, oh my God, my son is telling me that I had this secret love for this woman that I didn't tell anybody about. And he says, his mother said something. And he said, she did? He said, yes, the day before she died. It was when she sent for me alone. You remember? He said, she knew we were safe with you and always would be, because once when she asked you to, you'd given up the thing you most wanted.
Yeah.
And then Archer says, she never asked me.
Never asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all this silence between them. And there's even a scene where he's going to DC to see, and he's going to see Ellen there. And May says, oh, you should go and see her, you know? And then there's nothing between them, but there's this like fake dialogue that they could have that's like a page long, but it's not anything that they actually say. It's so well done.
It's amazing. The whole book is that way though. It just.
So who's envisioning this dialogue? Is it Archer?
Newland and May. Yeah, like, well, the whole book it's third person limited to Newland. We don't get anyone else's point of view. So does she get omniscient at some point? I don't think she does.
I don't think she does.
All right, I'll let you guys, I got to jump off at another call, and I'm feeling pretty stupid right now. So I'll, well, I still am smart enough to turn the screen off.
Adios, Professor.
All right, have fun.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you didn't. Yeah, but you know what? I had to plug in my computer, sorry. I cannot be too critical of you, but I did an honors thesis on Edith Wharton, and this was like in college. And this was my favorite one. This one and House of Mirth are really good. But I do get what you're saying though, because like when I was in grad school, like this was the kind of stuff we read, and you're sort of marinated in it. And then when you're not, and that's not what you're reading anymore, it can be hard to get into that language and that society.
Well,
you know?
I mean, there was a lot of words that I didn't know what they meant, and I could have taken like a dictionary and start looking them up. Like, you know, it wasn't just words. There was certain like events and stuff that I wasn't like familiar. It just wasn't a fast read. I mean, I could read it and kind of get the gist of it, but it was like for me, it was dragging.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say, Lori, in terms of genre, if you could pick, like what do you gravitate towards?
I love historical. Well, this was historical fiction.
Not really.
Well, not in its time. I mean, just
it's not at all. She's writing in her time. She's writing in the society in which she's living.
Right.
So it's not historical.
She's writing about she wrote it like 1920, she said it back in like the 1870s, 1880s, but then we jump ahead 30 years, so she's back up into her time.
But it was historical to me because like, you know, telling about the 1920s, like, you know, society in the 1920s, basically how they had these parties. It was kind of it was a higher class version of Bridgerton, kind of like, you know, where they
I haven't watched it yet.
Without the sex.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, but the sex.
There's a lot of sex in Bridgerton, Tara.
There's Major. He's hot though.
That's what everybody says.
This is so good. Now I want to reread this again. I reread this at the beginning of quarantine, and I get so mad at myself. Like I read these books and it wasn't that long ago, right? It was about a year, and I forget a lot of what I read, and I'm like, I just don't want to forget stuff, you know? I forget stuff.
But see, I think, like you say, what do I gravitate towards? I love a book that I can remember. Like, you know, when you have to start, I'm not good at remembering names, like character names. On anything, even if I watch like a TV series, I get the gist of it, but I don't remember the people's names. So like if you confuse me with the names, like that doesn't so I like a book that I could take something away, that I could easily say to you, this is what it was about. Like, you know, this is what I learned from it. This is what, and like years later, that my favorite book, I liked Clan of the Cave Bear.
Oh, I remember that, Jean Auel or something.
Yeah, I read that in high school, I think.
I never read that one.
I just liked it because there was so many. I had never really thought about prehistoric times, and like, you know, that they were actually a civilization, and they actually had like a whole hierarchy, you know, where they had a leader, they had a spiritual leader, they had a woman who was like a medicine woman, which you know, I thought that was interesting. They were even finding plants that would assist them with birth control, but it was like, you know, like it didn't occur to me that they even, you know, that there was plants, like, you know, they must have had, I just didn't think that they addressed it. And their belief about God, like they believed that God was a woman, that she, you know, and considered her the mother. Even sexually, sex-wise, they had no idea that that babies were created through sex. They didn't. It was, I don't know. I just thought like it made sense to me. I liked it a lot.
So you should, when my book comes out, you should read it, because it's all the characters' names are at the top of each chapter. So you know.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm
So you know who's narrating. There's no mystery. There's no chapter numbers. It's just the characters' names.
Yeah, well, I like. Yeah, that.
No historical fiction though. It's modern. I just don't do it. I think that I don't have much interest in history, really. So like I don't gravitate toward writing. The most historical I go, honestly, is pre-social media, and I like pre iPhone. Sometimes I like to have my characters not have access to that, like, because the iPhone came out in 2007. So I kind of like every once in a while I'll do that, where they don't have access to that kind of technology, you know, because I don't know. It's been around a long time, and my characters do text each other quite a bit. So they do. I read a lot of young characters too.
They text each other, like.
Well, the most recent story I have that I'm going to put with the writers group I'm in, it's a young girl who's pregnant, and she's going to give the baby up for adoption, and she and her boyfriend text each other like a little bit. I don't put the text in there what they say. I just have, you know, that they do to meet up or something, that they'll text each other.
Well, I mean, by putting the text in would be a good way to create dialogue. I mean, and it is how people speak today.
Yeah, but sometimes I do, but I don't want it to seem sort of expository, you know. I only put it in if I feel like the message would be interesting, you know, the text message would be interesting.
Tara, how did you like the Book of Two Ways?
I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
That's the Jodi Picoult one that's about the Egyptologist.
Oh gosh.
I thought it was going to have a surprise ending, and when it didn't, I was like, what a missed opportunity. Like thought, I don't want to give any spoilers in case like Christine ever wants to read it, but like I thought, like with the whole thing, with it was like the whole thing, there's this theme of different, like, not dimensions, but different, like, you know what I mean, like parallel universes where one timeline could be going off in this direction, and like different, like, so she's in the plane crash, and so I thought that going back and forth was like the one where she's in Egypt working with the guy again, and when she's home with her family, I thought those were two different. I thought she was setting it up as these were the two parallels of what, like, if she survives the plane crash, and these are the two parallel lives she could have lived, and it's going to be a choice of which one. But then I thought the twist was going to be she didn't survive the plane crash, but these are the alternates if she did. But then in the end, they weren't alternates at all. They both really happened, and she survived the plane crash. It was just like so.
It was two plane crashes, though.
Was it? I thought it was just one.
Now, there was a plane crash. Well, the first plane crash was she was going to France to give the lady who was the
right, okay, yeah,
she was a death doula. Whoever her client was, her client, she was going to, I think it was France, to give her client's ex-lover
right
a letter just saying like how much that the client had loved him, and the plane crashed and she came out of it unscathed.
Yeah.
And
Which
they
I thought was, yeah. I
gave
just
her
thought it
free,
was a missed opportunity. Yeah.
it was hokey. It was like hope.
Yeah, I thought, and that's what I thought. It was like, the whole time I'm reading, I'm going, okay, I see this is going to be, because like this theme is being developed, like how there's parallel, you know, how there can be different timelines of the same, you know, of different possibilities, just slightly different. And to have, and then just to abandon it, you know what I mean? Like to not use, why use it if you're not going to,
Well, I
use that and bring it up so much and then not use it. It was such a silly, it was so stupid.
I thought that I thought like in the Book of Two Ways, like the Egyptian, I guess, royalty went to great lengths to prepare for their death. Like, you know, they had tombs and they would have all stuff that they would need, that they thought that they would need in the afterlife, like, well, you know, money and riches
Right.
and whatever. But what they did was they thought that after they died, that they would go to the god of the afterlife. So they had these detailed maps engraved on inside the coffin, outside the coffin, to give them directions on how to get to the afterlife. And there was two ways that they could go. One was like, I think, over the water, the other was like under the water, or and the thing is that both ways were like perilous for them, but they went to like extraordinary lengths to prepare for their deaths. And as an Egyptologist, this is what she was studying. But what I thought that she was saying is that despite all this, like these maps and charts that they had, you never knew what the outcome was, because when somebody dies, you don't know what the outcome is. Like you never knew if one of these maps was sufficient, if they met the god of the afterlife. Right. And I thought that's what her message at the end was, like, because she didn't say who she chose. And I thought that the reader was supposed to say, like, in the end, you don't know the answer anyhow. Like, I thought that, but I didn't think she tied it in well at all. Like,
I didn't think so either.
Yeah.
No, I felt like it was a huge missed opportunity to make it a really cool book. I wanted her to rewrite it, like my specifications, like. And then, okay, so she talks about Egyptology, and she really goes to too much detail in it. It's like, I thought it was interesting, but this could have been a graduate level Egyptology class. Like, I don't need to read like that much about it. And then to make it worse, she makes her husband a quantum physicist, which has nothing to do with like Egyptology. And she throws in like quotes or like things from quantum physics. And I'm like, as if the Egyptology is not enough. Like, you know, we have with this. And I wanted to know more about a death doula. Like, I've heard of I've heard of a birth doula, but I never, like, you know, I'm assuming that really is a profession. There's somebody who will take your money for anything out there.
I would have liked to have seen, like, you know, I would have liked her to go more into, how did this lady become a death doula? Did she have to go to school for it? Like, and just because she was an Egyptologist, like, it's not really a connection. Like, they both work in death, but it was totally different. I don't know. Yeah. I like Jody because she's somebody.
Yeah, that I like. I thought this one had some weaknesses though. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah.
Well, what are we going to read next time?
I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to come next time because there's so much going on. It's hard.
What'd you do? You joined another writing group?
Joined two.
Two?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't have, you know, they're novel writers. And the last novel I did, what I've been doing with it, it didn't go well when I sent it to agents, right? So I've been carving it up into short stories and trying to do, you know, that. And I got one of them published, one of the you know, stories I carved out. So I just try to keep it moving, you know? So I think I'm going back to short stories. for a while. You don't make any money at it really, but oh, check it out. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be published internationally in an English journal, my flash fiction piece. And they pay me £10, which I asked Google what it converts to. It converts to $14. So I'm so psyched. I'm an international author as of June 15th. I will be an international author. Isn't that funny? It's about a girl, it's about a teenager who has to take the Plan B pill, and she can't get the box open. Like, she's freaking out about how to get the box. She can't do it. And her father is like knocking on the door, and she gets it open, and she swallows a pill, and it's stuck in her throat. And then she's panicked and she doesn't know what to do. So, and then she flashes back to the guy, because her father, she leaves the room and goes in the laundry room because he's in the bathroom, her dad, and she swallows the water like this. And she goes back in the room, and he's there with the box, the Plan B box. And he asks like, what's going on? And she reflects on the guy she was with, you know, not too sexually or anything. It's pretty tame. It's very tame. But
she tells her father this?
What?
She tells her father?
No, well, he finds the box. So he's like, what's going on? You know? And he asked her, like, I think he asked her if she used protection or something. Like, he says, what's this? She's like, do I really need to explain it to you? You know? And, but it's 4 pages. It's 1,000 words. So I'm trying to really get better at that shorter form. A lot of magazines take shorter pieces. They don't take longer ones anymore. A lot of them don't. So I try to play around with short stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the writers groups. But these people, they're submitting a lot of novels. So it's a lot of work, because I have to remember like where they were, you know, like, because they submit over time. So I have to keep track of like, oh, that was this story.
Yeah.
And I read that a month ago, and now I have to read chapter 3 this month, you know. And I'll see if one of them doesn't work out, I'll get rid of it, you know, the other one. But I think that the main thing I need is people who write well and critique well, you know, because some of the people just aren't dedicated to writing, or they're not that good at it, you know. And I need to get better at it. I need to up my game, you know.
Well, so are you going to, on this group, what does everybody submit, like a chapter or something? How does that work?
You submit, well, the one group, there's 6 of us, and we meet for an hour every other week. That one, 2 people submit, and you do a half an hour for each person. And it's like up to about 5,000 words, which would be about 12 pages, something like that. And then the other group seems more intense. That one, I think it's once a month, and I actually have to take off work to do it, like because they meet like they meet like in the day. So I'm like, well, let me just give this a shot and see how it goes, you know. So, but they have several people submitting stuff to me, and they're doing novels.
Well, wait. So what do you mean submitting just to you?
No, to everybody in the group.
Oh, so everybody submits their work, and then do you critique it? Do you read it like before the group meets, and then you?
Yep. Oh yeah. Otherwise, we sit there, read it during the group. That would be silly.
And how many people? How many people are in the group?
The one that Alyssa set up, I have no idea. I think there's five or 6 of us, and the other one there's 6 of us. So, and
well,
that's
a lot. That's a lot of reading.
It's a lot of reading. That's why I don't know if I'll do book club, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could give it a shot, but I don't know.
Tara, do you belong to any critique groups? No?
I don't. I've done it in the past, and I've never had any valuable input. I feel like most people are only in it to try to build themselves up, and by tearing everybody else down. You know what I mean? Like, and especially like when you get in a group with writers who either aren't very experienced, or you get a lot of people who think they're really great writers, and even if they're not, and they like just have to keep that ego going, they have to just tear everybody else down. And
it's so interesting, because this group seems really humble.
Really?
And,
I've never experienced
right
that.
on the money, and right on the money with the critique.
That's great.
Like they really get it. They really talk about how to work at it. I feel like I've really hit the jackpot with this particular group. I hope we stay together, because they're really good writers. And one of them is a writer, like, but by a career, she's a writer. So,
That's great.
yeah. So,
That's
but I know what you're
unusual.
saying.
Yeah, it's
unusual.
And I'm not writing for publication, you know what I mean? I'm not out there trying to submit, so I don't really, you know what I mean? Like for me, I just, you know, I don't really care so much about, you know, because it's, you know, that's not, you know, I'm too busy publishing other people's stuff to really do much.
Right. Exactly.
I'll tell you, like in the writers group that we were at, like I'm writing this. I'm not an experienced writer. I've always done like poetry. Poetry is mostly what I wrote, and so this is my first time trying to write a novel, and I'm learning a lot from the group as far as just like I was writing it, and it's personal. It's a memoir, so I got to a certain point. My objective was to just write the story down and get the whole story down and then go back to it and like rework it. But like the objective was to just get the story down. So I got to a certain point and it was like I was stuck. Like I just didn't know. And Lauren said to me, he said, try writing it from somebody else's perspective. And that was like really helpful. He said, take it, you know, stop writing like the book, write something different. What I did was I took one of the characters out of the book and wrote about her from her perspective separately. And it was really helpful for me. It was real, like, you know, all of a sudden, like just even writing from somebody else's perspective, I found that very freeing. You know, it was like, and I also found that I could say things like in writing a memoir, if from somebody else's perspective, I could say things. I could make somebody else say something that I thought and not have to take the responsibility for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the beauty of fiction as opposed to writing it in nonfiction.
Yeah, so it was like I appreciated that. I'm going to try writing a kid's book. Like I started writing a kid's book, and because I think my type of writing submits itself more to a kid's book, like to get the message. So I'm going to do that, and I am going to finish what I'm doing. It's just I don't know if I'm going to get. I want to just finish the damn book rather than get I don't even care about being published. I want to finish it. I want to do it for myself and be proud that I actually got a whole book finished.
Yeah, the first one feels like that. You know, it's like a never-ending thing. Yeah. But once you get one under your belt, it's easier the next time.
Yeah, but I think I'm slow anyhow. Like I think I mean I've been working on this book. This writing group has been for like over a year and a half. I've been working on it, and it's like I should have been finished.
But not if you're writing part-time, you know what I mean? It's like you're sitting there full-time every day, you know?
Yeah, I know, but it's like I should be more dedicated to it. Like there's time, you know, to sit down and actually discipline myself to do it. And I try, but I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet either. All right, we got to figure out what are we going to read, because all right, I got a couple of books this week that people recommended to me from work, and this is one we had talked about, Lincoln in the Bardo. This one is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
And what's that? Extremely Loud and
Incredibly Close. I don't know anything really about any of these. These are just books that came up. We had a book club in my work on our retreat last week, and these are some that came up that other people really liked. So I bought them just because I won gift card, and this one is The Book of Longings. I don't know anything about these, but these are just some I'm throwing out there as possibilities because I have them already. So, but if you have a suggestion.
Go back again. The Sue Monk kid, she wrote like The Secret Life of Bees.
Yeah.
I
don't know what this is about, and I can't read without I don't have my reading glasses on. I think it's like I think it's about like a biblical woman. It's like a historical fiction, but I don't know. It says Nazareth, so biblical history, like way historical.
Does
And then-
anybody know anything? I'm not, about the Bible?
Not a whole lot, but
No.
I mean, not.
So what's it about? The one by Sue Monk Kid? What's it about?
It says, into this bold reimagine. I'm trying to read this, like I'm trying to hold it out here far enough. Into this bold reimagining of history steps Anna, a rebellious, ambitious, gifted young woman who secretly writes the stories of silenced women and longs to bring forth the largeness inside her. She is raised in a wealthy family with ties to the ruler of Galilee and is expected to marry a rich older widower. An encounter with 18-year-old Jesus changes everything. And then it's
With Jesus?
Jesus. So it's biblical, but I don't think it's religious, but I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
she encounters Jesus but Jesus is not, Jesus is only 18 years old.
Wow, it has 8,900 reviews on
wow. Well, and how and positive or how, like, what's the average?
Yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Oh, that's good.
Huh.
I don't know. I mean, so that's that, and then this one was, I don't know. They said this one's about like an autistic person who is
extremely loud and incredibly close. Yeah, that was famous. Oh my God, it's 448 pages. I'm not reading that.
That's awfully long. I'm thinking this one looks shorter, and the other one I think this one's 400 pages too.
What is extremely loud and incredibly close?
Yeah, the kid's father dies in 9/11, I think, and he leaves him these keys.
Yeah.
So I heard about that. He leaves them keys. It's kind of like a puzzle for him to find.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded interesting. So I don't know, but
446 pages.
But yeah, it's a little long.
What was the other one?
Lincoln in the Bardo, which is it had come up over the summer. Somebody who used to come to book club recommended it. But they're saying, somebody was telling me it's written like she said it's written like a poem, but it looks to me more like it's written like a play. Like look at I don't know if you can see, but it's like so and she said she really loved it, but she read it for her book club and she said half the people hated it. So I feel like it's a danger zone.
Okay.
There. So, but I don't know. But those are just 3 random ones that I happened to get because of work. So I don't know. But if you have another idea. But I want to pick something so I can put it up tomorrow. And then depending on turnout next month, I'm thinking maybe we take a break for the summer. Since people tend to be away, but we'll see. I don't know. So what do you think? Or I can put up a poll, but then we get people voting who don't actually come. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, like everybody votes and then you get, the same 3 people who
Christina,
actually show up.
are you gonna come?
I don't know. It just depends. Cause I don't want to pick, like if I pick a book, it's going to be short stories, and we already did Olive Kitteridge. So,
and we did another short story book over the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm reading one now. It's someone at work recommended to me. It's called The Circus in Winter, and it's like the circus, like where they go at winter time in Indiana. It's really cool. I started it. I only started it though. I only read like one story. It's good. It's for sure good. But short stories can be tricky.
Yeah.
They can be tricky.
And the circus, I find disturbing. Like for a book club I was in years and years ago, we were going to read Water for Elephants. And
I read that.
I love Water for Elephants.
The girl who recommended it said, "Oh, it's about the circus," and we're like, "Oh God, the circus!" Like, no, oh, I don't like clowns. I don't like the circus. Is it real circusy? She's like, "No, it's not real, not at all." And then we read it. We were like, "Are you kidding? It's so circusy." We were like, So yeah.
You didn't like that book?
I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it either.
This book, we don't have to read it, but I'm telling you, like if you in the summer, The Reader, it was made into a movie.
Yeah, I think
was
I saw the
good.
movie, but I didn't read the book. But I don't remember the movie.
Good. It's about this guy. He's a young kid, and he has an affair with an older woman. I don't think she's married, but they have a sexual affair, and he reads to her, and then there's a twist in there, and it's around the time of the Nazis. It's really good.
Who's the author? Who's the author on that?
Bernard Schlink, Schlink. You won't be sorry. And I breezed through it. It's
really.
And how many pages is that?
218. 218.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I think we have a winner.
Yeah.
I would actually I would come for this one.
Okay.
I would like to reread it even. It was
because if you've already read it, it'll be easier too. That way you don't have to.
I was up at 2 a.m. reading it in the summer. We came home from some event, and I was like, and I'm always asleep by then, of course, and or waking up. I'm like, I don't know if I'm coming or going these days, but like, yeah. Oh, it was so good. I'm excited to talk about this. And Laura, you have to read the whole thing, even if you don't like it.
You didn't yell at Everett. He didn't read the whole thing either.
Yeah, but Everett escaped by 6 o'clock.
I know. Yeah, Everett texted me or he emailed me like 20 pages in, and he's like, I don't like this. It's rich people talking about rich people. I'm like, you're not getting it, Everett. You're like, it's hilarious. She's making fun of the rich people from the inside. It's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to rereading this.
All right, let's do that then.
All right, that was.
This is the first sentence, all right? This tells you a lot about the tone of the book. First sentence, listen. When I was 15, I got hepatitis.
Oh, okay.
Right? That's
all right.
it. It's very matter of fact. It's not boring though. Like Hemingway would write that kind of sentence, but it's not like that. You know what I mean? But it's so simple. The language just gallops along quite simply.
Good, it's right up my alley.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Oh, good. I'm excited. I'm glad you're interested. I was looking at my bookshelf while you were talking, and I thought I would just recommend it to you, even as the summer read,
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. All right. So then I'll post that tonight or tomorrow whenever I get a chance.
And what's the date of the next meeting?
Let me look.
June something, no?
Yeah, they're all scheduled. I just gotta find the website. Is so slow. Come on. Events. Oh, good God.
You guys, everybody have their vaccinations done?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My kids have had one, and I don't know if I could have gotten anything closer, but my husband took them down to Rowan University, which is an hour and a half from us.
How old are your kids?
16 and 19.
Yeah, my daughter just got her first one today, and my son.
How old is she?
She's 27, and my son was. They were like leery if they were going to get it or not.